Zorn's Dungeon is the first role-playing game to be played through the YouTube livestream chat. You're not just watching the game anymore, your character is involved in the action. Spawn a level 0 character, throw them into the Bloodcage, and watch them fight for their lives. Death is permanent, but survivors can reach level 1 for even greater adventure as the game develops. Here's how to play in under 5 minutes. Step 1. Spawn your character. To play, just type bang spawn, that's !spawn, in the YouTube livestream chat anytime Zorn's Dungeon is being played live. The game instantly rolls a level 0 character with 3d6 stats straight down the line. There's also a 1 in 6 chance of rolling a random demi-human. Your starting HP determines your destiny. Low health means wizards and thieves, while high health means you get to be a fighter, paladin, or barbarian. Every character's linked to your YouTube username, so you know which is yours, and we know who's playing. Each character also gets a unique ID or dog tag. You can also see which characters belong to rare professions or have particularly exceptional stats. Remember, level 0 is brutal, so spawn multiple characters to have backups ready. But be aware there's a 30-second global cooldown on the bang spawn command. If you don't get in on your first try, just try again. The chatbot will confirm what characters are created in the livestream chat. Step 2. The Draft. Newly spawned characters enter the tavern. The only way out for a level 0 character is to be drafted into a 12-person party for the Bloodcage. When it's time to assemble a party, the system drafts in this priority. 1. Super VIPs, which the Game Master reserves for special guests or situations. 2. VIPs. Channel members get free VIP status once a month, and anyone can send in super chats to make one of their characters a VIP. Super chats with a specific dog tag attached guarantee that character will receive VIP status. Otherwise, the system will choose one of your characters at random. Gifting memberships also gets you and the person gifted a VIP character. 3. Active chatters. If you've commented in the live stream chat within the last hour, you get priority right behind VIPs. So if you're watching, participate in the chat to make it more likely that your character will get in on the fight. 4. The general pool. If there are still draft spaces left, then they're open to anyone else in the tavern. Yes, even if you're offline, your tavern characters are at risk and may be drafted. Note that the draft prioritizes having as many different players as possible in the party, so you usually won't have 2 of your own characters in the same cage. Step 3. Into the Bloodcage. Once the party forms, the doors open, monsters spawn, and the auto battle begins. You get to sit back and watch the bloody drama unfold. As the cage takes damage and the blood bar fills, Zorn might intervene. At 33% health loss, he might order his goblin archers to loose a volley into the heroes, or later drop a gore strider behind your lines if you're having too easy a time. And for the crunch lovers, combat, movement, spells, and all other rules are handled by the Hacked Edge game system, our custom rule set based on old school essentials. Step 4. Triage and leveling. When the dust settles, surviving PCs are hauled up to the winch room. If a character was knocked unconscious, they only survive if they have teammates still standing at the end. Otherwise, the monsters put them to the sword. Survivors earn a blood drop next to their name to indicate they lived through the ordeal. Once in the winch room, goblin medics attempt to heal individual wounds, restoring 1 HP per wound per success. Then the fairy checks HP. Anyone with enough HP to reach level 1 gets promoted, receives their class, and gets a free, full restoration of HP and spells. This is the only free magical healing in the game. Level 1 characters also earn the right to have a name. Type bang name dog tag new name in the chat to name them, or rename them on zornsdungeon.com. Step 5. Rest and return. Finally, characters are sorted to their next location. First, all dead characters are sent to the graveyard. It's their final resting place. Those characters who are still wounded are sent to the infirmary. There, wounds and spells heal in real time according to the Hacked Edge rules, meaning severe injuries may take several actual 24-hour days to recover. To keep playing, bang spawn more characters to have them ready to go. Healthy characters are sent to the stable to safely rest. They have earned their reprieve. Want to send a character back into the action and perhaps earn a second blood drop? Just move the character you want from the stable back to the tavern. You can do this at zornsdungeon.com or by typing bang T for tavern plus the dog tag of the character you want to move in the chat. You can check rosters, locations, and all of our leaderboards, tracking boss kills, maximum damage, highest XP, anytime at zornsdungeon.com/tavern. Alright, that's all you need to know to get playing Zorn's Dungeon on the live stream. Get your bang spawn ready, and we'll see you in the cage. Hey, good evening, everybody. Good evening. Welcome. Good to see you. I'm just looking through the chat here. Hopefully everyone had a wonderful day. I did. And now I'm ready for some Zorn's Dungeon. So welcome, everybody. Looking through here. So I just saw a question right here. So Sable Phoenix says, how many characters or channel members allowed? Well, at the moment, I have not disabled any characters. I have not benched any characters or anything like that. There was an error with that last night where the system was looking at people who had more characters than they're supposed to have and was deactivating and benching them. But at the moment, I haven't deactivated any characters, but I've got it set so everybody coming in can have two living characters. Everybody has two. The first level has 4, and then the next one's 10. Okay, so that's the limits that we're looking at. 2 for free, then 4, and then 10, and then might be able to go from there. But that's what I'm looking at. But right now, if you have more than that, that's okay. I have not benched characters. We just can't bang spawn more. But if you're new here, hey, welcome everybody. It is so great to have you. So do go ahead and hit !spawn to come on in and fight in the Bloodcage with us. There were some changes from yesterday, so let's go ahead and start bringing this up. Let me share the screen so that we can go and check out what we got. Let me take that down. Let's go over here to the YouTube posts. I did post the changelog to zornsdungeon.com. And so, but it's here as well, also on YouTube if you want to see more of it. So here's what we're looking at right now. So I had a special request to look at the suicidal charge of Dr. Estranged. Okay, so I did a deep dive on that. That was important then, because we're trying to get the auto battle cleared up, and I take that seriously. So we had a question about what happened to Dr. Estranged, and this was it. This was back in episode 25. So Brent's mage ran past his own front line, poked a goblin with a staff, and then a white ape came and killed him in the first round. Okay, so from the battle log, so what actually happened there is like, so why is this happening? Is this some kind of systemic issue? And it was. So what happened is his own fighters blocked line of sight to every nearby goblin because the goblins are small. So one of the things that we don't see very well on the Bloodcage, and that's been true even as I've been testing it and as I'm looking at it live as well. One thing we don't really see very well is the height of the characters. This was a change that I wanted to make from Hero Quest days, because, you know, when you're calculating line of sight in something like Hero Quest, people want to be able to see around some characters. And something that always comes up is that the wizard is standing behind the dwarf. And it's like, the dwarf is short and I'm the wizard and I'm standing right behind him. Can't I see over the dwarf? Well, according to the rules as written, no, but I've always thought that was a bit of a problem, and so wanted to account for how tall the characters were. But in this case, most of your PCs are medium-sized, and then we got some smaller goblins there. So Brent was behind some medium-sized characters. He could see the white ape, which is why he wanted to target the white ape, because the white ape is large. So that makes sense. You see this looming white ape in the background, and so that's why often the casters have been able to target the white ape from the back of a battle line. So that makes sense. But in this case, because all of his friends in the battle line were actually, you know, ahead of him in the deployment, were medium-sized, they were obscuring his sight to all of the goblins. So he saw the ape, but he was out of range for Ray of Frost. So he wanted to move forward to get into the range to cast Ray of Frost. Well, the AI that's moving him, the algorithm in this case, says, hey, move closer then. So he moved closer, but as soon as he moved closer, all of a sudden he was within a goblin's zone of control and had to stop immediately. So now he's captured by this goblin. There's like came around the battle line. Ah, goblin. So so that trapped him in the zone of control next to the goblin. So he correctly made some type of other attack because he didn't have a weapon that he could use in melee. Didn't have a spell he could use in melee. All he had was his staff. Targeted the goblin with the staff, but then that opened him up to where the goblin could walk over, or the white ape walked up and killed him. So now, before a caster moves, or this should be the way that's working now, he should look for a square where he has a clear shot and where no enemy can reach him. If that square exists, he moves there and casts. If it doesn't, he stays behind the line and waits. Okay, so that might cause us to have a few more waits of spellcasters in the back, but that might be a good trade-off rather than trying to, move forward like that and what the chat was calling a suicidal charge. That may happen less now, but we may see less action from the spellcasters in the back on the front early turns if they don't want to move out front. So back rankers no longer cross the front line until a fighter has crossed ahead of them. So they're also going to be looking to see if they're kind of shielded. So did that 25 times in simulation after this, because I can do that now. I'll look at the seed from exactly where we are. That used to happen about 5 out of 25 turns, now 0. And that's also something that the automated checking system is going to be looking for after the episodes in the auto audit of each show. Okay, so going into the Bloodcage. So now one of the things that we're going to do to make the Bloodcage harder is that the Bloodcage, we got to thin some level 0 characters. The Bloodcage will now draft at most 3 heroes above level 0. Because I could keep trying to make the Bloodcage harder, but that's really not its intention. I've got some other things for level 1 characters to do. So the Bloodcage was never really intended to have level 1 characters in it, but it does now, and has been adjusted for that. But rather than continuing to spiral the difficulty of the Bloodcage, I think that a good idea is just to cap the number of level 1 characters that can go in. So they're going to be 3, should be a maximum of 3 leveled heroes in the cage at a time. We'll see how this goes. And then the remaining seats will go to level 0 characters, and we have a lot of them. If you've got level 1 and level 0 characters in the tavern, and all of the level 1 seats have been filled, you'll pick a level 0. VIP characters are exempt from this Bloodcage limit. If people want to VIP in 5, 6, 7, 8 of their level 1 characters, okay, well, then they can. So that I can do it. But if there are 3 VIPs for level 1 characters, that will be our limit. I have also been now working. I told you that I was going to revise the channel membership priority because I realized I was doing that over the past 48 hours trying to get that right. And last night I told you I realized that it was too strong. So now draft member priority applies only among active chatters only, and there's going to be a further change tomorrow. But that means that members will be drafted ahead of non-members within that group of active chatters. That's going to change again tomorrow, but right now this is the way that it works. But that once a member has fought for the night, they will be in a random lottery just like everybody else as we go down the tiers for how many people have fought once, fought twice, fought second. So we're going to see how that works. The human element of this is really important. Sir Red Sir, or Lord Red Sir, welcome. Arasiolia, Fire Mate is in. This is a elf. Okay, so thank you very much for the VIP. Lord Red, you are going to be in. Here's some music. We got 12 likes so far, 12 likes of 25. If we can get to 25, we'll get the blessing of the fairy. That's what we were looking for tonight. Let me look through the comments. There was a lot of stuff coming in. I saw that. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Let's see. Oh, Kilbo. Oh, SKD Fish says Kilbo's all healed up and ready for another blood drop. Let's see. The fix I was working on was that the it wasn't a big one. I just noticed when I opened up the tavern that the blessing of the fairy counter had not reset. I told you I'm working with a new API on the blessing of the fairy so that I can actually see that on the screen rather than having to go to YouTube. And the break was I noticed that it still had last night's count on there. So it wasn't anything big right there, but something I wanted to see. Let's see. Hey, everybody. Let's see. So is that working the way it should? Tabletop Scholar says on the leaderboard, right? Technically, the most recent to achieve should be at the bottom. They were the last, but I mean, if you break the tie for actually holding position, period. I agree that's how it should work. I'm not sure if that's working the way. I mean, I agree that that's the way that it should go in. The person at the top should be the person who got it first. It's not a big deal because it's the tie is the tie. But there we go. Oh, Brent says, everybody ready to give an F? Tabletop Scholar says, I got lots of Fs to give. We will see. Yeah, the fairy. Yeah, I accidentally in that said that the fairy checks HP to level up, but I wrote on the screen that was an error, and that I accidentally said the fairy checks HP when I read that script, but I wrote on the screen that that's an error and it should be XP. I'm actually gonna need to remake that how to play in 5 minutes because there have been some changes. So once we kind of go more public, we're gonna have to check that. Let's see. Anything else? Did I miss anything? Doctor Strange sacrifice for fine-tuning battle mechanics. Yes, that's exactly right. Yeah, so Sable says, so that all makes perfect sense and can nicely represent the chaos of battle and being surprised by positioning. If there was a combat log to indicate what happened, it wouldn't have seemed like a suicidal charge. It would have just been fog of war. Yeah, you know, originally this was a very text-heavy game. I was envisioning it as basically a text RPG online, but it's become more visual, so I think it needs to read well visually. I say that as Icioriel, Firemane. That sounds good. Icioriel. Okay. All right. Okay. So I think we got it all right there. Okay, let's go fight. So let's see. Dave here, Tabletop Scholar, Brianna, Courtney, SKD Fish, Sable, Phoenix, Corey, Mrs. Dave, Daniel, Brent, Access Your Inner Light, and Brad are all here in the chat tonight and registered present. If you are here for the first time, hit bang spawn and you will get a character and you'll be able to fight tonight. And also make sure you say something in the chat because people who are present in the chat are the first to be able to fight. So let's go ahead and get this going on. Let's go ahead and fight. I think that's all I need to say. If I need to come up with something else, we will handle it. But let's draft the party. So, Sir Red. Sir Red, you are in with a level 1 uncommon elf. Brent Sir Dondarian is in, a level 1 knight. Daniel has Monsieur Rumple the Bonkcaster, a level 1 mage in. Courtney has a salvaged man-at-arms. Tabletop Scholar, a panicked friar. Sable Phoenix, a debt-ridden elf minstrel. Corey has a downtrodden dwarf miner. SKD Fish has a flimsy cartographer's assistant in. Then Brianna has a floundering town watchman. Mrs. Dave, an unwanted bandit. Brad has a beleaguered fortune teller. Brett has a hollow-eyed halfling farmer in. So I believe that's the case that we have 9 level 0 characters in here, and then we have 3 level 1s. So the level 1s are going to have to do some work in here to help out these level 0s going in and trying to get them through the cage. We do have, I mean, this is still quite a few hit points that we have in here. We have a total hit points of 54, average HP of 5. And let's see, what is this? Lord Red, sir. Is this, fell-handed? I still have not tried to go back and fix the, see if I can reconstruct fell-handed. Haven't tried to do that yet. 3 blood drops for Sir Dondarian right there. I do love that name. And Sir Dondarian has great odds of getting out of the cage. So the odds master has just come back. 70% chance of survival for Sir Dondarian. We do have poor odds over here. Brianna's floundering town watchman, only a 28% chance of survival right here. See, Dave says, see what I mean again? Sir Red not here, me play, no play. Yeah, but Sir Red, he had VIP'd that character. So if you VIP a character, you're going in. Now, you don't have to be here. So, I mean, I think that was right because Lord Red Sir had VIP'd that character. And so VIPs go in first. So VIPs go in above everybody. So if you declare a VIP, then he's going in. So Lord Red might not be here, but he went in for the VIP. So VIPs are first. VIPs don't consider who is actually watching. If you VIP somebody, then they're going in to the next cage. As long as it's 12 or less. I mean, if there are 15 VIPs, then 3 VIPs are going to have to wait until the next round. But if you got VIPs, you're going in. So I think we're kind of sorted there. I've been trying to do that. And make a better system. But VIPs, especially if somebody pays for a VIP, they're in. So that's what happened with Sir Red Sir. So Sir Red, Lord Red is in with Firemane. Okay, so Bloodcage. Let's go in. Open the cage. All right, Brianna, a floundering town watchman, front line. Corey, a downtrodden dwarf miner, front line. Brent, Sir Dondarian, front line. Courtney, a salvaged man-at-arms, front line. Lord Red Sir, Firemane, in. Second line. Mrs. Dave, an unwanted bandit, second line. Brett says a hollow-eyed halfling farmer, that's in. See, he's small right there. Debt-ridden elf minstrel, Sable Phoenix, second line. Third line is tabletop scholar, Panicked Friar, then Daniel, Monsieur Rumple, then Brad Henry, a beleaguered fortune teller, SKD Fish, a flimsy cartographer's assistant, is in. Now, we have only 13 monsters, but 2 white apes. So, here's to everybody who's going in. Let's see what happens. Beleaguered fortune teller comes up with a staff, into the staff with the goblin, into the goblin with the staff, 1 point of damage, and that's it. Okay, white ape now targets a beleaguered fortune teller. I believe that we established the fortune tellers don't have combat spells. Haven't adjusted that. Comes in, white ape comes into Brad, the beleaguered fortune teller, in the flank, takes 5 damage, 1 turned aside, 1 taken as injury, a moderate bludgeoning wound. That drops the beleaguered fortune teller. Brad has dropped. Very brave, very brave. Cave Imp now comes up to Sir Dondarian. Dondarian is gashed with 1 point of damage, a minor slashing wound. Goblin now targets a floundering town watchman. This is into Brianna. A floundering town watchman takes 4 damage, 1 turned aside, 3 taken as injured. Floundering town watchman folds on the wound and is gone. Uh-oh, we have lost 2 heroes. We are down to 10 PCs to 13 monsters. Okay, Corey's dwarf is going to try to put some damage on this white ape, but only rolls 1 point of damage, a minor piercing wound. Goblin now targets that dwarf. Dwarf miner takes 1 stamina point of damage, but no wound. Monsieur Rumple looking at the goblin, coming in with a staff, a major bludgeoning wound, 5 points, is able to take out that goblin. White ape looking at the dwarf. Is he going to be able to get into a place where he, throws the boulder into the downtrodden dwarf, 3 points of damage, a moderate bludgeoning wound that rocks the body. Okay, debt-ridden elf minstrel, Sable Phoenix, looking at Cave Imp, decides to shoot firebolt at the Cave Imp, 2 points of damage, a minor fire wound, expiring on the cold stone. And backs up. 10 to 11, hollow-eyed halfling Brett moves toward goblin number 2, coming in, 2 points of damage, able to take him down. The goblin falls with a final thud. Sir Dondarian targets the white ape. Sir Dondarian comes in on the white ape's flank. 9 points of damage to white ape, a grievous piercing wound. Nice job, Sir Dondarian, with a short spear nonetheless. Stabs the ape into the belly with the spear and drops him. Panicked Friar, now looking up here at this goblin, comes into goblin instead. 3 points of damage. That is enough to drop goblin number 4. Zorn readies the archers. A volley may be incoming. Zorn is readying the archers. A volley may be incoming. So, Cave Imp. Now, Cave Imp looking from behind, looking at the panicked Friar. Can he get there? Yes. Cave Imp coming in. 3 points of damage to the Friar. 3 out of 6 hit points remaining. Okay, Salvaged Man-at-Arms comes up to Goblin, one of our fighter types. This is will be a pre-knight. Hits him for a goblin. Hits the goblin for 1. Flimsy Cartographer's Assistant, SKD Fish, is going to reach out and try to touch the white ape. White ape, 1 point of damage, a minor fire wound. Arrow Storm. Zorn looses the volley. 4 arrows. 4 arrows incoming. 4 arrows. Coming in from atop of the cage, Courtney is going to take 3 points of damage. Corey takes 1 point of damage. Daniel comes in, takes 3 points of damage, 1 turned aside and 2 taken as injury. Sable Phoenix's debt-ridden elf minstrel, steps aside. The arrow whips past. Harmless. No damage right there. Cave Imp now looks at this panicked Friar of Tabletop Scholar. 3 points of damage, a moderate slashing wound, and that drops the panicked Friar. The panicked Friar is cut down instantly. It is now 9 PCs to 8 monsters. Slight edge for the PCs. An unwanted bandit now coming up to that Cave Imp. Cave Imp is struck for 2 points of damage, a minor bludgeoning wound that lands clean. Cave Imp staggers, twitches, and falls. 9 PCs to 7 monsters. Cave Imp now coming in to the hollow-eyed halfling. Coming into Cave Imp. Critical strike, and the opening is punished. The hollow-eyed halfling farmer takes 4 damage, 1 turned aside, 3 taken as injury. Hanging on by only 1 HP. Only 1 HP. Goblin Runt now coming up to the unwanted bandit. Goblin Runt gores the bandit for 2 points of damage. Mrs. Davis also hanging on by 1 point. Portcullis opens. A Ratkin Gorechild lurches in behind the lines. Right there next to Lord Red's elf. 4 points of damage, a moderate slashing wound with the claws. Takes him down to 2 right there. Ratkin Mongrel looking at Sir Dondarian way down there at the bottom of the cage. Snapping his jaws, 1 point of damage, a minor piercing wound. Okay, Firemane, Lord Red. Lord Red closes with the Ratkin Gorechild, 1 point of damage only, a minor piercing wound. He's going to need some help back there in the back. Going to need some help back there. Goblin moves toward the halfling. Whoa, hollow-eyed halfling farmer struck for 3 points of damage, a moderate piercing wound, but is still up. Body is broken, but spirit is not. They remain standing. On to round 2, right? Yeah, round 2, fight. Okay, 8 PCs to 8 monsters. Cave Imp coming down into Courtney. Cave Imp sweeps the claws into Courtney's flank. Savage Man-at-Arms reels from only 1 point of damage down to 2 of 6 points of damage. Got quite a line right here in zone 2. Now Ratkin Mongrel coming into Dondarian. Deflected right there. We needed that. Catches the strike on the boss of her shield. 0 damage and 0 stamina spent. Downtrodden Dwarf. This is Corey. Targets Goblin. Downtrodden Dwarf Miner. 6 points of damage. 6 points of damage on the Goblin. Nice job, Corey.
Goblin number 3 drops to -4 hit points. Monsieur Rumpel needs some help in the back. Let's see. No, wants to, says, I am going over here with this staff coming up. Cave Imp coming to the Bonk Caster on the head. 7 points of damage. Drops the Cave Imp. A tremendous bludgeoning wound. Cave Imp number 2 is killed with the staff right there. Now the Bonk Caster may get targeted right there. Oh, yeah. White Ape coming in. White Ape coming into Monsieur Rumpel, staggering under 6 points of damage, a major bludgeoning wound. Monsieur Rumpel, the Bonk Caster, crumples and is done. Oh, F in the chat. We lost a level 1 mage. Daniel Donnert, uncommon, has fallen 2 points of damage from a minor piercing, then 6 major bludgeoning. F in the chat for Monsieur Rumpel. We still have 7 PCs up with 1 on the floor, but now Ratkin Gorechild's going to get to come into Lord Red again. 5 points of damage, a major slashing wound. That drops Lord Red. Another level 1 has fallen. Lord Red, sir, has fallen. F in the chat for Sir Red. Or Lord Red. Firemane. We got to get that Gorechild out of the back. It is now 6-6. 6 PCs to 6 monsters. Sir Dondarian comes in swinging at Ratkin Mongrel, skewered for 8 points of damage, a tremendous piercing wound with a short spear right into the Ratkin Mongrel's belly. Ratkin Mongrel twitches on the end of it, and he gets shaken off the spear. Goblin Runt now coming in to the Unwanted Bandit, stabbing 4 points of damage to an Unwanted Bandit, a moderate piercing wound. Unwanted Bandit staggers once and falls forever. We are now at 5 PCs to 5 monsters. We have already drawn the White Ape. Goblin now coming in. Goblin now goes to the Hollow-Eyed Halfling. Hollow-Eyed Halfling Farmer is struck for 1 point of damage, minor piercing wound, drops to the floor this time, but is past the death save. Brent Hamilton's Hollow-Eyed Halfling Farmer is down, but alive. Okay, Sable Phoenix now casting Firebolt at the Ratkin. Needs some help right there. Critical hit, sickening precision, 9 points of damage, a grievous fire wound. Ratkin Gorechild falls with a final thud. Nice work, Sable, right there. Salvaged Man-at-Arms coming into Cave Imp, wants to put down this Cave Imp, rocked by 5 points of damage with a short spear again, major piercing wound. The Cave Imp collapses and is dead. Flimsy Cartographer's Assistant, SKD Fish, looking at Goblin right there, going to fire Firebolt across Zone 1 into this Goblin, into the Goblin's flank. 3 points of damage. That drops Goblin number 5. Death claims the Goblin. Nice job from the casters in the back. Are we going into round 3? We are now going into round 3. First up is Sir Dondarian, looking at that White Ape. Cut him down, attacks. 3 points of damage, moderate piercing wound only. Downtrodden Dwarf now looking at Corey, goes in, or Corey's looking at the Goblin Runt, rather. 4 points of damage, drops the Goblin Runt. Goblin Runt expires. Okay, we got to bring down that White Ape. Sable Phoenix is going to try to do it. Coming in with the Dagger, White Ape is gored for 5 points of damage, a major piercing wound, drives it deep. The White Ape hits the stone and does not rise. White Ape hits the stone, fell-handed, debt-ridden elf minstrel. 5 PCs victory, 5 souls walk out alive, and we haul 1 out unconscious. The crowd roars for the living. Oh, Sable got 2 boss kills out of that. 2 boss kills. 9 XP each. 6 survivors share the spoils. 6 fell and get 4 out of that. So there you go. Yes. If you get fell-handed and drop 2 boss monsters, that character did earn level 1 and a name. Excellent. Let's go over to the winch room. Let's turn the winch. All right. Everybody who survived got their blood drop. Let's go to deploy the Goblin Medics. Any level 1 characters need some help. Sir Dondarian. Oh, no effect right there. And that's all. Because we have some promotions. So, Hollow-Eyed Halfling Farmer, Brett, made it out, reeling and then unconscious on the floor. Fairy's Blessing, wounds wash away. So, ready to go back in. Corey, a downtrodden elf miner. Level 1 dwarf, wounds wash away. The Fairy's Blessing, wounds wash away. Flimsy cartographer. Cheap goblin medics are really just bad goblin medics. They're only goblins. The Fairy's Blessing, restored. SKD Fish, Flimsy cartographer's assistant, got it. Salvaged man-at-arms becomes a knight. We got 1 out. Fairy's Blessing, wounds wash away. Sable Phoenix gets a level 1 elf. So the debt-ridden elf minstrel definitely needs a name, and that is a heroic character. We've started a new heroic story right there with Magic Missile. All right, let's sort and dismiss. The tavern. Okay, so back over. So Dave did not fight, and Inner Light did not fight. So Dave and Inner Light are now up front, and there are no VIPs. If there are VIPs, that would put above them. But next up, Dave and Inner Light need to fight, and then we will be drafting randomly from those who have fought tonight. If you are here, make sure that you bang spawn if you are new here, or at least chat so that people know that, so the system knows that you're here. Lots of people with characters in the tavern but are not fighting. Yes, let's do the fairy's gift. That is important. Gift of the fairy. The fairy appears, hero of the cage. You bled for Zorn in his cruel game, and though you did not break, your gear did. Here, take this. I found it for you. It might have the blood of one less fortunate still on it, but it was all I could find. Use it well to become the hero I know that you can be. Okay. Stephen the Bearded, MVP, Bloodcage, July 28th, SDK Fish, you earned it right there. MVP. Sirloin of Beef, you get a rust-covered helm. Isle Hero, Brianna Reynolds, a rickety buckler. Stephen the Bearded, a wolf-chewed buckler. Boars, a dirty helm. Sir Victor Argyle, rusty buckler. There we go. That concludes the fairy's gift. So there we go. Oh, TSL Frontman is in here. Tabletop Scholar has chosen one going in. Present in the chat, TSL Frontman. Hey, say something other than Bang Spawn, TSL Frontman. That's interesting because you are here. I wonder if it hasn't picked you up yet. Because TSL Frontman is here. Yes, Stephen the Bearded was definitely an MVP last night. So I checked that. That was another thing that people asked me. I think it was last night, but whenever people asked me that. And I said, I do have to check on that because he was, there we go. So it picked up TSL Frontman. So now TSL Frontman will be in because he is present in the chat, has not fought yet tonight. So TSL Frontman will make the draft right here. Yes. So what happened? I was like, so why are we having so much trouble getting the MVPs to be called at the end of the fight? Well, there are two ways. I don't want to go into the entire algorithm right now, but there are two ways you can basically become an MVP. One is if you blow past a certain threshold and you're the top one, then you get an MVP. The other one is if you are carrying the cage and there's nobody a certain distance close to you. Because if there are two people who are close, we can't call an MVP. So one is if you just blow through a threshold, and the other one is if there's somebody, is if you carry the cage with nobody really behind you. Stephen the Bearded carried that cage, but the system thought that somebody else was sufficiently close behind him to not give him the single MVP. That ended up not being true. That was an error that we shot down and figured out. But that's why. So it thought that somebody else was doing just about as well as he was doing, and they were not. So System corrected. MVP now in. All right. So, and also gave out a few gifts. We have 14 of 25 likes in order to get the blessing of the fairy. So if we can get to 25, if you're here, please do hit the like button, and then everybody will get the blessing of the fairy who is in the tavern, +1 temporary hit point. All right, let's go to the holding cell, shall we? Let's draft. Let's draft the party. So, Tabletop Scholar has the Chosen One in, level 1 Knight going in, one of our heroes. Inner Light, the Red Sorceress, is going in. Dave, a Trembling Flagellant, you are going in. TSL Frontman, a Pockmarked Temple Initiate. SKD Fish, a Cobbled Dwarf Miner. Sable Phoenix, a Sunburnt Torchbearer. Brianna Reynolds, a Lowborn Dwarf Armorer's Apprentice. Brad, a Dust-Covered Poacher. Douglas Burton, a Bitter Squire. Bill Holmes, a Scraped Blacksmith's Apprentice. Geek Phillip, a Battered Lector. Y3T, a Jaded Lector. So now we've got some additional people in here. It looks like we do have some people who are not present who got drafted. Just 1 second. All right. So we've got some, let's see. We have some super chats. Thank you very much. Let's see. I just saw that Tabletop Scholar has buffed the Chosen One. So the Chosen One has been buffed. +2 temporary hit points, +1 damage, and +2 to all saving throws. Inner Light has also come in to buff the Red Sorceress, +2 temporary HP, +1 damage, and then +2 to all saving throws. Great odds to get Access Your Inner Light out. Let's see. Also great odds to get TSL Frontman out. SKD Fish, no, but Doug, 79% chance. All right. So let's go. Let's fight. Just 1 second. Let me check on. Okay, that didn't send that. All right, we will check on why we are drafting people who are not here before people who are here but have fought. It seems like that should be clear to me that if you're here but you have fought once, you should draft before people who are not here. So we are working on that now. Let's go into the Bloodcage. All right, let's start the. Let's open the cage. And now let's start the fight. We've got 15 monsters, 12 PCs. So here we go. Oh, I didn't, Tabletop Scholar. Oh, I didn't count who was out here. I got wrong-footed with the draft. Okay, so Goblin Runt coming into SKD Fish. A Cobbled Dwarf Miner is hit for 3 points of damage, a moderate piercing wound. Yeah, if everybody only had level 1s in the tavern, that would be true. So that could be deflected. Cave Imp number 2 comes in on the Chosen One, a Tabletop Scholar, who deflects it. So the Chosen One doing what he is supposed to be doing right there with the deflection. Let's see. Who is coming in? The Red Sorceress, Access Your Inner Light, comes in on the Cave Imp's flank. 5 points of damage to Cave Imp, a major fire wound. Light fades from the Cave Imp's eyes. They're not all the same because they have different equipment. Okay, Goblin number 2 comes in with a crude spear. One temporary hit point against the ward of Chosen One. Okay, Cave Imp now comes into the Pockmarked Temple Initiate. deflected right there. A pockmarked Temple Initiate slams his shield into the strike, a textbook deflection. Goblin now targets the lowborn dwarf armorer, coming into Brianna Reynolds. 5 points of damage, 1 turned aside, 4 taken as injury, a moderate piercing wound. Oh, they are stacking up in Zone 1 for us, and also Cave Imp now coming in, a sunburnt torchbearer into, taking damage from the Imp. 2 taken as damage, 1 turned aside, 1 taken as injury, 2 out of 3 up. 12 PCs to 14 monsters. Ratkin Mongrel coming all the way across to Red Sorceress. The Red Sorceress catches the blow and turn on a turning hip. No damage, stamina spent only right there. The monsters are forming a battle line. Gremlin's going to try to get up there. We still have lots and lots of monsters. Lots of PCs that have not gone. Sunburnt Torchbearer is braced against death. Advantage on saves until the fight ends. 2 cantrips. Or 1 cantrip remaining. Trembling Flagellant. Okay, so now Chosen One, Tabletop Scholar, going against this Goblin, surrounded by Goblins. 9 points of damage. Okay, does some work right there. Goblin hits the stone and doesn't rise. Pockmarked Temple Initiate, TSL Frontman, targets Cave Imp. Cave Imp is struck for 3 points of damage, moderate bludgeoning wound. Cave Imp's body goes limp, and it is finished. Okay, so starting to thin out that front line, but there are still lots of monsters to come up there and try to fill it in. So, short bow, nice job. With a short bow, Brad goes into Ratkin Mongrel and backs up. Slimeling now targets Pockmarked Temple Initiate. This is TSL Frontman. Is he going to be able to get there? They're a little bit faster now, but they're still kind of slow. Yes. Comes into the Chosen One. 2 points of damage, 1 turned aside, 1 taken as injury, a minor bludgeoning wound. Lowborn Dwarf Armorer, Brianna, targets the Goblin. Brianna comes in for 3 points of damage to the Goblin, a moderate bludgeoning wound. Death claims the Goblin. Bitter Squire now looking at, Slimeling. Didn't get there. Goblin Runt moves toward Red Sorceress. Goblin Runt stabs at the pockmarked Temple Initiate. They've got us backed up. He might be able to not be able to maneuver. Everybody is stacked up back here in the back. Sunburnt Torchbearer Sable, come on, take out this Cave Imp. Sunburnt Torchbearer reels, sends the Cave Imp reeling from 1 point of damage. Scraped Blacksmith's Apprentice looking at Slimeling. Yes, comes up into that hole. A critical hit on the Slimeling, rocked by 9 points of damage, a grievous bludgeoning wound that lands clean. The Slimeling collapses dead. Kobold Crawler, now looking at a scraped Blacksmith's Apprentice, comes in on the flank. Scraped Blacksmith's Apprentice is skewered for 1 point of damage, a minor piercing wound. Zorn readies the archers. A volley may be incoming. What are we standing at? 12. Oh, we still have 12 PCs up. We still got 12 PCs up to 10 monsters. It's 12 to 10. Battered Lecter comes in on Cave Imp. 1 point of damage to Cave Imp, a minor bludgeoning wound. The Cave Imp drops dead. Blood pools beneath. Kobold Crawler targets a scraped Blacksmith's Apprentice, going to throw. Kobold Crawler comes in on the flank. Scraped Blacksmith's Apprentice takes 2 points of damage, hanging on by only 1 point. Hanging on by only 1 point. 12 PCs to 9 monsters. SKD Fish's Dwarf Miner comes in on Goblin Runt, 2 points of damage, a minor piercing wound. Goblin Runt falls with a final thud. Arrow Storm, Zorn looses the volley, 6 arrows, not 12 arrows, 6 arrows coming in from atop. Chosen One takes 2 points of damage. Chosen One is at 4 of 8. Battered Lecter takes 2 points of damage. SKD Fish. Cobbled Dwarf Miner takes 2 damage. Driven to the brink right now, SKD Fish, the Cobbled Dwarf Miner, is reeling, so he is still up at the moment. Bill, Great Blacksmith's Apprentice, drops, crumples to the cage floor, and is dead. Inner Light, also Red Sorceress crumples to the cage floor. Red Sorceress is gone. The Red Sorceress has fallen. F in the chat for the Red Sorceress. Level 1 mage has fallen. Terribly sorry. Terribly sorry. The Red Sorceress has fallen. Now, Sunburnt Torchbearer. Arrow finds its mark, crumpling to the cage floor. Sable Phoenix. The Sunburnt Torchbearer is gone. Tabletop Scholar now coming up to, Goblin number 1, 3 coming up to the Chosen One, 2 points of damage, a minor piercing wound, down to 2 of 8. Okay, Jaded Lecter, it is time to do some work here. Got to take something out. Ratkin Mongrel struck for 3 points of damage. Okay, well, that was good. Clubbed the Ratkin Mongrel to death. Light fades from the Ratkin Mongrel's eyes. It is still 8 PCs up to 7 monsters, 8 to 7. Okay, Goblin coming in to Brianna Reynolds. 5 points of damage to the Dwarf Armor's Apprentice. A major piercing wound. Brianna's lowborn Dwarf Armor's Apprentice staggers once and falls forever. No save for that hardy dwarf. Zorn stays his hand. There will be no portcullis monsters. There are 7 monsters still fighting 7 PCs. Oh, the White Ape is looking at the Chosen One, though. The ape is going to throw, looks like it. Going to throw into the Chosen One. Deflected. Deflected. The Chosen One angles the shield perfectly. The strike rebounds. There's no damage. We are going to have to do a lot of more work, though, to get them out of there. Round 2. Kobold Crawler. Oh, now throwing into Dundarian. Kobold Crawler throws. Deflected. Deflected. Catches the strike clean. Shield does its work. 0 points of damage. Dundarian attracting a lot of attention, but doing what he does. Kobold moves up. We are at the top of round 2. Brad. Okay, Brad with the short bow trying to take out the White Ape. White Ape is punctured for only 1 point of damage, a minor piercing wound. And the poacher is moving to the back. Goblin now looks at the pockmarked Temple Initiate, attacking, 2 points of damage, a minor piercing wound. Chosen One, your turn, looking at this Goblin number 3, pierced for 4 points of damage, short spear into the Goblin. Goblin number 3 drops. The Goblin's body goes limp, and it is finished. White Ape. Okay. White Ape coming into Tabletop Scholar, lashing out. 1 point of damage, a minor bludgeoning wound. White Ape coming in again. Vicious critical. The Chosen One is struck for 7 points of damage. Can he save? Can he save? No! The Chosen One. We have lost the Chosen One. The Chosen One has dropped. Whoa, this is a major moment. The Chosen One, level 1 knight, Tabletop Scholar, Starborn has fallen. 2 point minor piercing wound, 1 point minor bludgeoning wound, and then a 7 point tremendous bludgeoning wound. Beaten to death by the ape with fists. Huge loss, huge loss. Goblin Runt now coming at TSL Frontman. 1 point of damage, a minor piercing wound. Let's see. Kobold Crawler, TSL Frontman, going to throw at TSL Frontman. Pockmarked Temple Initiate comes in on TSL Frontman's flank, but deflected. Heal rings on the Temple Initiate's shield. The blow is met head-on and is turned aside. Pockmarked Temple Initiate now coming into Goblin Runt, making a last stand here, but let's cut him down. Cut him down critical. Goblin Runt staggers under 9 points of damage, a grievous bludgeoning wound. Okay, that was with a Warhammer right there. Crushed the Goblin Runt. Legs buckle, and it is over. Gremlin looks at Brad. Looks like he gets stopped by the battered Lecter. Yes, comes into the battered Lecter instead. 1 point of damage to a battered Lecter, a minor slashing wound. Bitter Squire. Okay, let's get the White Ape. Well, no, comes into Kobold Crawler instead. 4 points of damage, a moderate piercing wound. Able to drop the Kobold Crawler. But we are now 6-4. It's 6-4 here. We still have some PC draws. Jaded Lecter now coming in on Goblin 4's flank. Goblin absorbs the impact of 3 points of damage, a moderate bludgeoning wound. The Goblin staggers, twitches, and falls. Now, Flagellant Dave. Is going to cast, let's see, Cure Trifling Wound, and is going to bring up the Cobbled Dwarf Miner. Okay, well, how about that? Okay, so had a healing spell and was able to bring him up. Let's see about that. Okay, so there we go. Combat Healing Magic, Cure Trifling Wound. He's still up now. Maybe he can get in another punch. We really need him. Battered Lecter comes in on Gremlin. Gremlin collapses and is dead. Cobbled Dwarf, 1 HP left, brought him up, says this White Ape is still here. The dwarf is going in to do what the White Ape, or do what the dwarf does. Only 3 points of damage. Round number 3. Battered Lecter. Battered Lecter, can you finish off this White Ape? Coming in 4 points of damage with a club. That is all that it took. So the Lecter and the dwarf come up and take out the White Ape. I think there's the fell-handed for the Lecter right there. We still have one kobold in the back who is going to target the Bitter Squire here, coming in with a long knife, deflected. Now everybody's going to gang up on this kobold and butcher it right there. We're about to butcher this kobold. Cobbled Dwarf, SKD Fish, targets kobold. Last stand. Come on, take him out, take him out. Rocked by 5 points of damage, a major piercing wound with a pick. Okay, so SKD Fish came back with some healing there. So that worked well. All right, that worked well. 7 PCs, victory. 7 souls walk out alive, but at a huge cost. At a huge cost. 7 walk out alive. The crowd roars for the living. We lost Tabletop Scholars. Chosen One, 8 XP, 7 survivors share the spoils. And then 5 fell who got 4 XP each. So 7 did get out. And let's see about the Goblin Medics. He could have been the most badged character. Oh, no, nothing for the Goblin Medics to do. Nothing for the Goblin Medics to do. Let's go to promotions. So does that mean we have 7 promotions? Brad gets a Thief. Brad gets a level 1 Thief. Fairy's Blessing, wounds wash away. Pockmarked Temple Assistant, TSL Frontman, you get a level 1 Paladin. Both level 1s died. SKD Fish, Dwarf, level 1. And your wounds are washed away. Battered Lecter, Cleric, level 1. Wounds wash away. Be sure to hit the like button, everybody, if you're watching. Bitter Squire turns into a knight. Doug got one. Lecter, Y3T, Cleric. There you go. All right, let's sort and dismiss. If you are new here, hit bang spawn. Let me check the right over here. Okay, so that was an error that looks like it has been fixed as far as our draft priority. That's been a thing, getting the human element of this side of things right. Okay, we will see. We're going to see what happens next. So we got some changes right here. We only have 14 likes. Hit like. We need 25 in order to get the blessing of the fairy and get everybody in. TSL Frontman has VIP'd the Pockmarked Temple Initiate. So the Pockmarked Temple Initiate is going back in. This is his paladin. So we have a VIP right there. Thank you very much. You think we need to raise it to Dave says, honestly, I think the limit of 3 level 1s might have broken the game. It has multiple ripple effects that are annoying. Oh, Smashwise Blamg. TSL Frontman has Smashwise Blamg in here. Let's see. Dave has level 1s. Tabletop Scholar has level 0s. Brianna has level 0s. Courtney, level 1s. SKD Fish, level 0s. Brad, Sable Phoenix, level 0s. Mrs. Fish says that we only have level 1s. Level 1s for Corey. Let's see, level 1s for Brent, and then access your inner light. Let's see. It does feel like more like some of the older cages that were more dangerous. Need at least 4 level 1s, you think? Okay, well, let's change that before the draft then. Okay. Okay, I will get more water. Okay. Let's change it. I do want to be sure. I'm gonna grab some more water. So while that change is being made, but I do want to make sure that if someone has both level 0 characters and level 1 characters, that a level 0 character is taken. That way, somebody who has only level 1 characters, it frees up a slot for them. I mean, 7 is a lot. I mean, Sable is right there. That one still had 7 walk out alive. 7 characters did still walk out alive. Just 1 second. I'm going to let everybody bang spawn if you're here. If you're new here, type bang spawn to create a character, and you will get in because you have not fought tonight. And if you're here and you do have characters, make sure you say something so the bot knows you're here. Oh, there we go. Okay, so just saw that. So Oven Dragon, Akram Good Soul. Well, what about just Good Soul? Good Soul has a splintered gnome tinker. Okay, welcome. Give me just a moment. Let me grab some water. Let's see. All right. Always making changes. Always making changes. So good to see you, good soul. Welcome. Great to see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Please do hit the like button on the stream. I'm waiting for just a second to make sure that our changes for the Bloodcage come in tonight. We also need more stuff for the level 1s to do. I haven't been able to push further into game development, but there are things that only level 1 characters can go and do. Courtney says, all right, put a bunch of my level 1s in the tavern to clear them out. So you move them over? The Bloodcage is supposed to be difficult for the level 0s. And it was. But then once we had like 6 level 1 characters in there, the level 1 characters could clear it out. They could clear it out. Well, we have to bench characters. I have not benched characters yet. Brent says the folks who have 48 level 0s will get to fight a lot more if the rest are at the cap since it was implemented. I have not benched people yet, but that is on the list because you're right. The people who have just spawned tons and tons and tons of characters have more. So characters are going to be benched. So characters do need to get benched. I have not implemented that. Mrs. Dave says it should be a random mix of whoever is present. I don't have any level 0s. So if I don't make the 3, I have no one, and then 4 people not present to get in. Well, the reason that, people had a problem with that. People had a problem with a random mix of whoever was present because then you could be present and not get drafted all night. That was actually one of the original ways that it actually was. I just said that if you're present, there's a random draw to get in. And people didn't like that because they didn't like random. Because if there are 4 blood cages a night, a random draw means that you can randomly not be drafted all night. And so people thought there needed to be some type of system to keep you from being able to randomly be not chosen. And I agreed with that. There were people who were present all night. But if there are more than 12 people present, you cannot be drawn all night. So a random choice of everybody here didn't actually work very well. So I implemented the system here where we have present in the chat, but then also once you have fought, you go back. So that makes sure that if you have not fought tonight, you will get a chance to fight as long as there are enough slots. You're going to be cycled through. So a random number of just a random selection of present people did not work. Trying to get the fix in. There's going to be another change before tomorrow night with the channel members. So that didn't get implemented tonight, but there will be another fix on that because I'm still not happy with the way the channel members are going. Okay, so I think that we just changed that. So all right, we're going to see what happens now. Refresh over here. The channel members getting a VIP was too complicated. It was too complicated. So I'm doing something other than a VIP. And also, well, it was too complicated for several different reasons. But I'm doing something else with the channel members. Okay. Let's see what happens then. Let's draft. Let's see who is in. Drafting the party right now. So who is in? TSL frontman Smashwise Blamg goes in. Then Oven Dragon, then Oven goes in with a splintered gnome Tinker. Dave, a lowly Lector. Brad with a patched town militia. SKD Fish, a windblown porter. Mrs. Dave, Ronnie Rampage. Brent, a wanted merchant's guard. That's a VIP character right there. Brent's a wanted merchant guard is VIP. Tabletop Scholar, a weary cultist. Brianna, a frayed alchemist assistant. Sable Phoenix, a runaway halfling farmer. Courtney, humongous. Okay, Courtney. Humongous is in, a level 1 mage. Inner Lights Portia is in. Okay, so So we got, well, nope. Well, nope, we got more than that. So, okay, obviously I'm just gonna have to work with this again and come back with the drafting, because we have 6 level 0 characters in here, 6 level 1s. So, okay, average party level of 0.5, total HP of 56, average HP of 5. So, TSL Frontman has great odds of getting out at 71. And then this Dave, Ronnie Rampage was just boosted for +2 temporary hit points and +1 damage. Then Inner Light is also buffed for +2 temporary hit points, +1 damage, and +2 to all saving throws. So Portia is in. Let's see. Been trying to get Hugh in the cage. Well, Hugh is in now. So there we go. So, all right, well, this is a stacked cage. So obviously the fix didn't work because now it put in 6 level 1s. So we'll have to look at that after the stream, but it looks like everybody's in. We got 6 level 1s in, 0.5 average level, 56 total HP, average HP of 5. Okay. So, I mean, that's pretty stiff. We were looking at about 47 last time. So we will see. Starborn, Brent's the wanted merchant guard is Starborn in the top 2% of all ability scores. We're going to be looking to try to get him out of the cage tonight because he is both an MVP back from July 8th and is Starborn top 2%. Starless, we have Starless, the Frayed Alchemist assistant is Starless over here. No, with the odds maker has run, but I don't see anybody. So, survival odds have run. We don't see anybody with great odds, fantastic odds, but I don't see anybody with dreadful odds either. 35% on the Starborn fighter. Okay, so there we go. All right, so let's see what happens. Let's go into the Bloodcage. Let's fight. Open the cage. Here we go. So, front line is Mrs. Dave, Ronnie Rampage, TSL Frontman, Smashwise Blamgy, Brent, a wanted merchant's guard, Brad, a parched town militia, then Sable Phoenix, a runaway howling farmer, Oven, a splintered gnome tinker, then Dave, a lowly lector, then SKD Fish, a windblown porter, then Access Your Inner Light, Portia, then Brianna, a frayed alchemist assistant, then Courtney, Hugh, then Tabletop Scholar, Weary Cultist, 14 monsters and only 1 ape. 14 monsters and only 1 ape. All right, let's start the fight. Here we go. Did I already drink all of my water and all of that? Weary Cultist, Tabletop Scholar, looking for the goblin up there. Comes around, going to cast Poison Spray. We got to cover him. Goblin staggers from poison to 3 points of damage, a moderate poison wound. Does drop goblin number 3. Okay, Gremlin is going to come into the Weary Cultist, arcing a jagged knife, 1 point of damage, a minor slashing wound that really messes up the robes right there. No sound here? Critical hit. Uh-oh. Weary Cultist, 9 points of damage, a grievous bludgeoning wound. Let me try the screen sharing again. See if that helps. Smashwise coming into the goblin, a devastating strike, 17 points of damage, a catastrophic piercing wound. Smashwise Blamgy coming into the goblin, dropped it to negative 14 hit points, dropped it to negative 14. Huge right there. We have Hugh in here. 17 points of damage. Runaway halfling farmer comes into Gremlin, rocked for 2 points of damage. Gremlin drops dead. Blood pools beneath. Kobold Crawler now targeting Smashwise, coming up to throw. Kobold Crawler deflected. Smashwise Blamgy deflected. Nice work. Cave Imp targets Smashwise. Deflected. Nice job, TSL frontman. Cave Imp targets Runaway Halfling, coming into the Halfling. 1 point of damage on the stamina, rather. Kobold Crawler fires at Smashwise, throwing up the dart, not throwing up, but throwing up the cage. Deflected. Smashwise Gamgee deflected right there. Complete deflection. Epic defense, Smashwise. Kobold Crawler. Okay, a wanted merchant's guard, Brent, comes in toward the goblin. Critical hit. The opening is punished. 12 points of damage to goblin. A catastrophic piercing wound. Catastrophic wound with the short spear. The goblin falls with a final thud. 11 PCs up. 11 PCs are up. Cave Imp number 3 comes into the wanted merchant's guard. 2 stamina gone. Cave Imp targets Runaway Halfling, Sable Phoenix. Cave Imp rakes the claws across the Halfling. Halfling Farmer takes 3 points of damage, a moderate slashing wound. Hugh looking at Cave Imp, casting Acid Splash at the Cave Imp. Cave Imp hit for 2 points of damage, a minor acid wound. The Cave Imp's body goes limp, and it is finished. Ratkin Mongrel targets wanted merchant's guard. Coming up, can he get there? Yes, into the merchant guard's flank, lunging in to bite. Takes a puncture wound of 1 point of damage. Portia, Inner Light, targets Cave Imp. Portia coming in with Cave Imp, reeling from 3 points of damage, a moderate bludgeoning wound. The Cave Imp staggers, twitches, and falls. $11 PCs to 8 monsters. Porter, the Windblown Porter SKD Fish comes up on the Cave Imp's flank. 1 point of damage, a minor bludgeoning wound. What determines if you have stamina? Mainly, it is, I believe, Constitution. The Halflings are getting a bonus of stamina to represent their luck. I'm going to change that. Oh, 10 points of damage to the White Ape. Ronnie Rampage puts down the White Ape with a dagger. Puts it down with a dagger. Zorn readies the archers. Or is it deck score? Yeah. I'm going to change that about the Halfling because I have a different way I want to handle their luck. It must be dex then. Cave Imp suffers 1 point of damage. A splintered gnome Tinker drops Cave Imp. Arrow Storm. Zorn looses the volley. 7 arrows. 7 arrows are incoming. Brent. Arrow bites a wanted merchant's guard. 2 damage. Lowly Lecter. Dave. 3 damage. Runaway Halfling Farmer bites deep. 4 points of damage. Oh, but the Runaway Halfling Farmer is driven to the brink and stays standing, reeling. SKD Fish, Windblown Porter, 2 damage. Portia, Inner Light. The ward shimmers and deflects the shaft. Smashwise Blamgee takes 3 points of damage, 1 turned aside, 2 taken as injury. 12 December, Dex would be a 0 bonus, yes. A Parched Town Militia, 2 points of damage. All right, 10 PCs are up, 1 is reeling, 6 monsters on the board. Lowly Lecter now coming in to Kobold Crawler number 1, slams him for 8 points of damage with a club, drops Kobold Crawler. Portcullis, Ratkin Gore Strider with Ratkin Gore Child appear in the cage. Gore Strider moving to the Frayed Alchemist Assistant of Brianna Reynolds. Frayed Alchemist Assistant is hit for 8 points of damage, a tremendous slashing wound. The life leaves a Frayed Alchemist Assistant in an instant. 12 Dex doesn't give a +1 in old school. Ratkin Gorechild lashes at Brad. His half helm cracks and sheds a near miss with death. A parched town militia is left staggered. Deflected. Ratkin Mongrel comes into Ronnie Rampage, and this is Dave. Deflected. Nice work. Goblin Runt targets a lowly Lecter. Goblin Runt coming in, 4 points of damage. The lowly Lecter, 4-point moderate piercing wound. If you're watching for the first time, hit bang spawn, exclamation point spawn to create a character. Lowly Lecter Dave has fallen. F in the chat. I am sorry. Dave's lowly Lecter has fallen. 3-point moderate piercing, 4-point moderate piercing. 8 PCs to 7 monsters. Parched Town Militia. Brad comes in to Ratkin Gorechild. 4 points of damage. A moderate piercing wound. Goblin Runt targets Ronnie Rampage. Coming in, the ward flares. 2 temporary HP spent. No wound. Smashwise Blamgee targets Cave Imp. Smashwise Blamgee comes in on the Cave Imp's flank, rocked by 9 points of damage, a grievous bludgeoning wound that lands clean. Light fades from the Cave Imp's eyes. 8 PCs to 6 monsters. Ratkin Gorechild looking at Brad in the flank. Ratkin Gorechild comes at the Parched Town Militia's flank. Critical. Weak point is exposed. Reels from 9 points of damage. A grievous smashing wound. The Parched Town Militia of Brad Henry is finished. Cave Imp is disassembled, DSL frontman says. Ratkin Gore Strider retargets Portia. Inner Light is going to take a claw attack from the Gore Strider. 4 points of injury, 1 turned aside, 3 taken as injury. Wanted Merchant's Guard targets Ratkin Mongrel. Brent comes up to Ratkin Mongrel. 3 points of damage, a moderate piercing wound. Ratkin Mongrel hits the stone and doesn't rise. Kobold Crawler looking at Smashwise. Kobold Crawler comes in on Smashwise Blamgee's flank. Deflected. Deflected right there. Smashwise Blamgee angles his shield perfectly. Untouchable. 4 in a row. Nice job. Portia turns around to Ratkin Gore Strider with a club. 8 points of damage. A tremendous bludgeoning wound. Portia turns around and clubs the Ratkin Gore Strider to death, snarls, and falls. We still have 4 monsters up. It's 7 PCs to 4 monsters, but we got a lot of PCs to go. Splintered Gnome Tinker comes in, 3 points of damage on Ratkin Gorechild and takes it out. The Ratkin Gorechild goes down permanently. Splintered Gnome backs up. Splintered Gnome backs up. That's Oven right there. Windblown Porter coming up to Ratkin Mongrel. Only 1 point of damage with that club, though. Ronnie Rampage going to get a chance to take out something going into this runt right here. 4 points of damage, a moderate piercing wound. The Goblin Runt collapses and is dead. But now the Ratkin Mongrel goes into the Windblown Porter. SKD Fish, 3 points of damage to a Windblown Porter, a moderate piercing wound. A Windblown Porter is struck dead on the spot. Are we going into round 3? No, Hugh has not gone yet. Hugh is in the back down there looking at Kobold Crawler. Throws. Kobold Crawler is etched by 4 points of acid damage right there and drops the Kobold Crawler, expiring on the cold stone. Now we're headed into round 3. Wanted Merchant's Guard targets Ratkin Mongrel. Brent takes out Ratkin Mongrel. 7 points of damage, a tremendous piercing wound. All right, so the PCs did well that turn. So Brent, fell-handed, Wanted Merchant's Guard, MVP. 7 PCs get out alive. So victory. 6 souls walk out alive. 1 is hauled out unconscious. The crowd roars for the living. Nice work. I'd say nice work. Okay, 11 XP each. 7 survivors share the spoils. Let's see. I was just looking up, so I got out the old school essentials right here, which this is a hack of right here. And I was just looking out. If you look at this, yes, in old school essentials, which this is a hack of, scores of 9 to 12 are all 0. 9 to 12 are all 0. 13 to 15 are +1. 13 to 15 are +1. 16 to 17 are +2, and 18 is +3. So, you know, the old school kind of flattens the 3d6 roll a bit there as far as bonuses that are handed out. So, yeah, you have to have at least a 13 to get a +1. But on the other hand, you have to have an 8 to get a -1. So, you know, if you've got a 9, you know, you're still all right there. No, reeling, that was probably the reeling character. That's an interesting point, that it might have brought up that character as unconscious. Because I bet that was it. All right, let's deploy the Goblin Medics. TSL Frontman, +1. Smashwise Blandgy, get some help. Quarter. Portia, no help there for Portia. All right, promotions. Splintered Gnome Tinker, Gnome, level 1. So you made it through, good soul. You made it through. Nice work, level 1. Halfling, level 1. Runaway Halfling Farmer, Sable Phoenix. All right, let's sort and dismiss. One more fight tonight. We'll just see who drafts. We've got plenty of people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. All right. So, Flying Dominion. Have you got characters in the tavern? Excuse me. Flying. Oh, Flying Dominion. Okay, but Flying Dominion, you do have characters in the chat. You are the first time here for the night. You have not fought yet, so you will be in. One of your characters, a Fretful Pilgrim or a Wanted Elf Minstrel, will be in. Well, great to have you back. Great to have you back. All right, we have 17 likes. I see we have 21 people watching. Hit the like button. We need 25 in order to get the blessing of the fairy. We need 25 to get the blessing of the fairy. Do I need more water? I'm all right. Okay. So, oh, hey, John. Welcome, welcome. Let's see. Is John getting here? John, let's wait for let's wait for it to pick up John, so that he can draft with us tonight. There we go. It just picked him up. John and Flying Dominion will be in. All right. Well, welcome everybody. Hit the like button, and if we get to 25 before the end of the stream, we'll go ahead and hit the button, and then we will have it for tomorrow night, because it lasts for 24 hours. All right, holding cell. Let's draft. So, who is in? So, John's Fretful Squire is in, level 1. Starborn, Fretful Squire, level 1, right there. You are in. Starborn Squire, Flying Dominion, a Fretful Pilgrim. You are in. TSL Frontman, a bleary-eyed blacksmith's apprentice who is well starred right here. in here. Daniel Harker the Unassuming is in, who is one of our MVPs right here. Then Daniel, a haggard flagellant, is in. Brianna, a wayward burglar, you are in. Uncommon character right there. Brent, a hesitant cultist, a level 1 mage, well starred. SKD Fish's breathless merchant's guard, you are in. Corey, a bloodshot poacher, you are in. Sable Phoenix, a disheveled town militia, you are in. Mrs. Dave goes in for a buff to right down here. Brother Band-Aid. Brother Band-Aid gets +2. Chestnut the Tenor, that's Courtney's character, a level 1 elf. So we have 8 level 0 in here and 4 level 4s. So 4 level 1s, rather. 8 level 0s, 4 level 1s, average level of 0.3, total HP 55. I mean, that's probably been pretty consistent. And also average HP of 5 again. This is the final Bloodcage of the night. But if you're new here, do hit bang spawn and your character will save until tomorrow. Oh, Daniel goes in for a fretful squire and Harker the Unassuming. Thank you, Daniel. Daniel goes in. So Harker the Unassuming is fully buffed. And so is John, the fretful squire, fully buffed. So those are, the Starborn. Yes, so we have 1 Starborn in there. And then 2 well-starred. TSL Frontman. And who is the other well-starred? Oh, Brent, the hesitant cultist. Great odds to get the hesitant cultist out, it says. 80% chance. Brother Band-Aid, 61% chance. Oh, we have poor odds for Dave's Haggard Flagellant. Dave's Haggard Flagellant has poor odds of getting out. A 28% chance of getting out. Okay. All right. Well. Oh, just came in. Dave just made it. Dave, let's see. Haggard Flagellant comes in for the +2. Oh, buffed him a little bit. Dave saw that the Haggard Flagellant only has only has a 28% chance of getting out and buffed him. Thank you, Dave. All right. Okay. So let's go to the Bloodcage. Let's play. Let's fight. Okay. Let's open the cage. "16 monsters, 2 white apes. 16 monsters, 2 white apes. Daniel Harker the Unassuming, front line. Sable Phoenix, a disheveled town militia, front line. Dawn, a fretful squire, front line. SKD Fish, a breathless merchant's guard, front line. Second line, TSL Frontman, a bleary-eyed blacksmith's apprentice. Corey, a bloodshot poacher. Is this the third one or the fourth one? Is this the third cage or the fourth cage? I'm confused. We're supposed to do 4. You have to let me know in the chat. Courtney, a chestnut tenor. Brianna, a wayward burglar. Dave, a haggard flagellant. Third row. Third row, Mrs. Dave, brother Band-Aid. Flying Dominion, a fretful pilgrim. And then Brent, a hesitant cultist. Yeah, this is the fourth one. This is the fourth one. Okay. That's kind of what I thought. We typically do 4. 4 is about all I can do. Start the fight. All right, let's play. Harker the Unassuming coming in to the goblin. Going to start this off with a charge into a goblin. Harker comes in, 8 points of damage, starting this right with a long spear. Harker the Unassuming puts down goblin number 2. Okay, Bloodshot Poacher, Corey, fires at Cave Imp. Okay, we have a Missileer in here. Cave Imp is struck for 4 points of damage, a moderate piercing wound. Cave Imp drops dead. Nice job. Shot the Cave Imp. Was that the second row? So nice job, Corey. The Bloodshot Poacher. Goblin Runt comes in to Harker. Harker braces and takes the impact. No damage. 1 stamina point burned. Disheveled Town Militia targets Cave Imp. Okay, Disheveled Town Militia sets upon the Cave Imp. 5 points of damage, a major piercing wound. Cave Imp's body goes limp, and it is finished. Ratkin Mongrel all the way in the back. Ratkin Mongrel all the way in the back. Going to be able to come up, sinking his teeth into the town militia. Sable Phoenix, 1 point of damage, a minor piercing wound that takes its toll. White Ape targets Harker the Unassuming. Comes up to Daniel. In the flank, Harker is taking the White Ape's fist into the flank. Critical hit. Oh, but Harker the Unassuming's half helm cracks and sheds. A near miss with death. He is staggered, then takes 1 point of damage. Okay, all right. Well, White Ape slams a fist into Harker. 4 points of damage. Oh, that broke his helm and still did damage. That broke his helm, still did damage, and then he punched again. Harker took a lot of damage right there. That even went through the broken helm. Disheveled Town Militia, 2 points of damage. That hit hard. Harker the Unassuming. Now we got Ratkin Mongrel coming in, lunging in to bite him. Got nothing. Oh, critical hit. 4 points of damage, a moderate piercing wound. Oh, Harker the Unassuming. Whoa. Harker did not make it out. Harker got hit hard by that ape. Hard, and then the Ratkin Mongrel came in and finished it up. Whoa. Harker the Unassuming is out of here. I am sorry. 11 PCs to 13 monsters. Chestnut shoots Firebolt at Ratkin Mongrel's flank, comes in with a vicious critical hit. Ratkin Mongrel suffers 8 points of damage. Tremendous fire wound that leaves its mark. Ratkin Mongrel expires on the cold stone. Slimeling targets Disheveled Town Militia. Sable Phoenix. Wayward Burglar targets Slimeling. Wayward Burglar closes with the Slimeling. 3 points of damage. The Slimeling collapses and is dead. Cave Imp targets a Wayward Burglar, comes into Brianna, sweeping with its claws. 3 points of damage to the burglar, a moderate slashing wound. Brianna is still alive, barely clinging to life on the floor of the cage. 10 PCs to 11 monsters. A bleary-eyed blacksmith looking at this Cave Imp right here. Cave Imp gets slammed with a mace for 3 points of damage. Cave Imp number 3 drops, blood pools beneath. Slimeling targets the bleary-eyed blacksmith, TSL frontman. Slimeling comes into a bleary-eyed blacksmith's apprentice. 2 points of damage, a minor bludgeoning wound. Gremlin targets a Disheveled Town Militia. Sable Phoenix. Gremlin cleaves. 2 points of damage, down to 1. Zorn readies the archers. A volley is coming. White Ape targets a Disheveled Town Militia. Going to throw? Yes, 1 point of damage to the Town Militia. And Sable Phoenix's Town Militia drops. Goblin targets a Fretful Squire. Hit lands, true, swallowed by a protective ward. John is unhurt. All the PCs are in the backed up. Haggard Flagellant, Dave, coming up on Goblin number 1. Haggard Flagellant comes in on the Goblin's flank. Goblin is struck for 2 points of damage, a minor bludgeoning wound. Kobold Crawler targets Chestnut the Tenor. Retargets Bleary-Eyed Blacksmith. Throws the dart. TSL frontman, Bleary-Eyed Blacksmith's apprentice, is hit for 1 point of damage, a minor piercing wound. Hesitant Cultist Brent targets White Ape. Hesitant cultist targets goblin. Poison spray at the goblin. Goblin 4 points of damage, a moderate poison wound. Goblin's body goes limp, and it is finished. Arrow storm. Zorn looses the volley. 3 arrows. Bleary-eyed blacksmith's apprentice takes 3 points of damage. TSL frontman. Oh, but still up. Driven to the brink. Stays standing, reeling. I wonder if anyone has healing magic to get him out or get him back up. Bloodshot poacher takes 1 point of damage. Brent takes 2 points of damage. Brother Band-Aid. Okay, Brother Band-Aid might. Brother Band-Aid has some healing magic. Brother Band-Aid is in here. Brother Band-Aid casts a Cure Trifling Wound on the Wayward Burglar and brings her back up. Okay, all right, okay. Not a whole lot, but Brother Band-Aid is in. Kobold Crawler, though, says, wait a minute, what's going on? Kobold Crawler is going to throw. And what puts him back down? Unconscious. Brianna's unconscious, stubbornly clinging to life on the floor. Brother Band-Aid. Tried. Fretful Squire, not quite as effective with the dwarf. Fretful Squire, John, coming in, 6 points of damage to the white ape right there. White ape is cut open, bleeding. Now bleeding. Cut him open and bleeding. Yes. Okay. So that is a weapon effect. So it looks like the white ape may be bleeding now. So we're starting to try to bring that in. Let's see. SKD Fish comes into Gremlin, rocked by 3 points of damage, a moderate piercing wound. The Gremlin goes down permanently. Fretful Pilgrim targets Goblin Runt. So this time, Fretful Pilgrim, this is Flying Dominion, comes into Goblin Runt, 1 point of damage. Round 2, a Hesitant Cultist. Looking at Slimeling. Wants some Slimeling. It is 8 PCs to 8 monsters. Hesitant Cultist casts Poison Spray, coming in on the Slimeling's flank. 1 point of damage to the Slimeling, a minor poison wound. Kobold Crawler comes up to Flying Dominion. Throws, pierced for 1 point of damage, a minor piercing wound that drops his guard. We still have 2 apes in there. It's 8 PCs to 8 monsters, but we have 2 apes. White ape moving into, retargeting the Breathless Merchant Guard of SKD Fish. Deflected. Nice job pivoting the shield into the white ape's fist attack. Now coming into Flying Dominion's flank right there. Thank you, Dave. We'll get some beer back later on. Maybe in a couple of days. Trying to lose some weight over here. Flying Dominion has dropped. Sorry about that, Flying Dominion. You have dropped. It is 7 PCs to 8 monsters. 4 points of damage to the Hesitant Cultist, Brent. Yes, we knew the Hesitant Cultist didn't have a great chance of making it out alive. The Hesitant Cultist drops from the Goblin Runt. Well starred, level 1 mage. F in the chat. We have lost a level 1 character, Hesitant Cultist, Brent. Well starred. You have fallen tonight. 6 PC. Zorn stays his hand. Zorn does not go portcullis. Zorn is not going portcullis. He's just going to watch us fight it out. Chestnut the Tenor looking at White Ape. Well, way back there. Chestnut the Tenor casts Firebolt at White Ape. 2 points of damage, a minor fire wound right there. The White Ape staggers, twitches, and falls. Kobold Crawler targets a Fretful Squire. John, 1 point of damage to a Fretful Squire, a minor piercing wound. Kobold Crawler, Fretful Squire, now targets Slimeling. Fretful Squire coming in, nice work, opens it up. Opens up that Slimeling by 4 points of damage, -2. The light fades from the Slimeling's eyes. Bleary-eyed Blacksmith, Brother Band-Aid comes in to weave, to brace him against death with a, that's resistance that was cast right there. Now, Goblin Runt looking at a Fretful Squire. This is John coming up to attack right there. Deflected. Goblin Runt hits a Fretful Squire, John, but is deflected. 6 PCs to 6 monsters. Still quite a fight here. Bloodshot Poacher looking at White Ape, shooting from the back. Comes into White Ape, hit for 2 points of damage, a minor piercing wound. Haggard Flagellant targets White Ape. Haggard Flagellant targets White Ape. Targets the Goblin Runt instead. Its body goes limp, and the Goblin Runt is out of here. Let's see, Ratkin Mongrel now looking at SKD Fish's Breathless Merchant Guard. 2 points of damage, 2 minor piercing wound. Breathless Merchant SKD Fish targets White Ape. Coming in, take him out. Thrust of 5 points of damage with a short spear. The White Ape is still up, but that did help a lot. We do have some kobolds in there and still a Goblin Runt. Tenor the Chestnut shooting Firebolt at White Ape. Comes in, 2 points of damage. That's enough. We will take it. 2 points of damage to the White Ape. The White Ape lets out a snarl and falls. We smell the burning hair and flesh. Fell-handed. Nice work. Kobold Crawler, we are in round 3. Coming in with a long knife to Haggard Flagellant. Bites into the blessing. 2 temporary HP lost. Other than that, unhurt. Goblin Runt targets a Fretful Squire. Brutal critical hit. A Fretful Squire is struck for 4 points of damage. A moderate piercing wound. Kobold Crawler targets a Haggard Flagellant. Attacks Haggard Flagellant, coming in on the Haggard Flagellant's flank. Critical hit. The opening is punished. 4-point moderate wound. Still up, though. Still up. Dave's Flagellant is still up. Only 1 HP remaining. Haggard Flagellant targets Kobold Crawler. Last stand coming in. Take him out. Take him out. Kobold is hit for 2 points of damage. A minor bludgeoning wound. That works. Kobold Crawler collapses and is dead. Ratkin Mongrel targets Breathless Merchant. Coming in, snapping jaws. Breathless Merchant is impaled for 1 point of damage only. Okay, 6 PCs to 3 monsters. With 2 down, Brother Band-Aid now decides to come and get some with this kobold over here, swinging a flail. Critical hit, bludgeoned for 13 points of damage. Brother Band-Aid knows how to patch some wounds and knows how to open them up as well. The Kobold Crawler expires on the cold stone. Fretful Squire, John targets Goblin Runt. Last stand, Fretful Squire, wounded but fighting, comes in. 5 points of damage to the Goblin Runt. A major piercing wound with an arming sword. Okay. Oh, we still have a Ratkin Mongrel. I'm sure he's afraid for his life right now. And SKD Fish's Breathless Merchant Guard hits Ratkin Mongrel. 2 points of damage, a minor piercing wound. The Ratkin Mongrel falls with a final thud. Victory, 9 XP, 8 survivors share the spoils, 4 fell, 4 XP each. There we go. Okay. So 6 got out? No, 8 got out. 8 got out. I mean, we have had some very significant casualties as far as significant characters that have fallen. But on the other hand, we have been getting quite a few people out of the cages. I mean, this is 8 people out of the cage right there. Let's turn the winch. Most valuable fish. Last chance to hit the like button. I don't know where we are, but we can hit it right at the end of the stream. If we get to 25. Deploy the goblin medics. Oh, no, goblin medics don't have anything to do. Let's go to promotions then. So Dave, a haggard flagellant, you become a level 1 cleric. Got it. And your wounds are washed away. Bloodshot poacher, Corey, level 1 thief. You got it. Fairy's blessing washes your wounds away. Wayward burglar, Brianna, thief, level 1. Fairy's blessing washes your wounds away. Breathless merchant guard, SKD fish, fighter, level 1. Bleary-eyed blacksmith's apprentice, TSL frontman, level 1 fighter. Fretful squire, John, knight, level 1. Fairy's blessing, wounds wash away. Sort and dismiss. So also it's also time to get some. They are not being used right now. Zeal and greed override your standard operating procedures to make you more likely to go get treasure if you're greedier than you are zeal, or move forward if you are more zealous than you are greedy. But we don't have treasure in right now, so I got to get in. I got to expand the game. I've been doing a whole bunch of stuff to improve the flow of what we got, but it is now time to expand the game. We need the blood well badly, and we need something else. I got something else for level 1 characters to do, and I got to build that out. And we also need, so let's try to fix like this. Daniel says that we need some combat commands to come in. I haven't been able to work on combat commands. I haven't tested them at all. They're kind of written, but they're untested. So I've got to work on that. So people can actually put in combat commands. That's going to change the game, and I'm still looking forward to it, but I've got to have time to actually test that, and I have not had time. But I'm working on it. Infirmary, we got 28 characters in the infirmary. The stable, we have 289 characters resting in the stable. So there are a lot of characters back here who are resting in the stable. Leaderboards. Let's go to the leaderboard tonight. Most kills. Heck, the chosen one had 27. So most living is Sir Reginald Ironsides. Yeah, it will change a lot of things when you can issue commands to your characters. Just have not been able to do that yet. Have not. Sir Reginald Ironsides, 25 kills. Who came up? Oh, Ronnie Rampage came up. +2 kills tonight to move up to number 6. Harker got 1 kill to move up to number 12, or move up to number 8, rather. Monsieur Rumpel showed up on the top 25 for the first time with 8. And then new Portia is also on the board for the first time, number 16 with 8 kills. You need at least 7 to get on the top 25. Cage MVP. Let's see. So now we do have, I don't know how I'm supposed to pronounce that. But then also, Stephen the Bearded is up there now. Stephen the Bearded is on there. So Stephen the Bearded has been correctly honored now. That was a correction the fairy made for us. So one tied for 2, and then lots of 4s. Okay. Then Boss Slayer. Let's see. Portia is up to 5. Portia's up to 5. Chestnut the Tenor moved up 2, or got 2 kills to move up to number 5. And that's all I see right there. Damage Dealer. The chosen one did deal 211 points of damage. So he is, the threshold is now 211. Sir Reginald Ironside beside him. Most bruised. Let's see. The chosen one has taken 37 points of damage. Then Merbile the Ungainly. Let's see. Harker has taken 23 points of damage. That's also number 6. Garrick the Dwarf, 20. Anybody come up new on this? I don't think so. Biggest hit. Let's see. Oh, Slamwise Blamgee is now tied at 7th place with a 17-point hit right there. Most XP, Boars. Boars remains top with 196. Anybody come up tonight? No, Harker at 64. Wealthiest, most blood drops. Most blood drops, Boars, and Boars is still number 1. Kilbo, number 2. Sir Reginald, number 3. I don't think anybody. No, let's see. Portia is now tied for number 9 at 5. And Sir Dondarian also is in the big group of 15, tied for 15th with 4. Best defense. Let's see. So the Chosen One is tied for 2. Coming down. Let's see. Ronnie Rampage got 1 defense, moving up to 13, or tied for 13. And Slamwise Blamgee got had 6, and so came up for 13 tonight. Fell-handed. I still want to see if I can reconstruct that kind of thing. We are a good group. I really appreciate everybody who is here. I really do, Brent. Yes, everybody is amazing. You are a great group of people to hang out with, and I really appreciate you all hanging with me as we get things worked out. So the draft is going to change again for tomorrow night. Draft will change again tomorrow night. Can I? I got some other things to look at. Can I look at combat commands tonight? Can I look? I don't know. We're ending a little bit earlier tonight. Champion. Access Inner Light says champion. Well, I do have something that we could do for. I want to have level 1s to do, but you want a championship Bloodcage? Because I had an idea where at one point, okay, in order to do other stuff, you have to have level 1 characters. You're going to have level 1 characters. Getting level 0 to the Bloodcage is just how to create level 1 characters. But then now, so that's an interesting idea. I don't know if I can implement it by Friday. Maybe, but that's an interesting idea. So instead, what we could do is we could do Friday night. You got to have a level 1 character. Let's see. There's so much to do. And I don't have a whole lot of time before Friday night. And I did go and play games at the table on Tuesday. I didn't work on the game on Zorn's Dungeon on Tuesday because I spent all day with my nephews before they have to go back to school, playing games at the actual tabletop with them. I'm not sorry I lost that day, but I did lose a day. So tonight we had 61 kills, 20 characters fell. There were 6 new champions, 340 damage dealt. So the biggest damage dealers were the Chosen One, Bloodiest Survivors, Tabletop Scholar, Fell-Handed. We got a lot of Fell-Handed people who are getting the first Fell-Handed. The Fallen, yes. So there were 20 Fallen tonight. So here's to everybody. SKD Fish says 12 level 1s versus 4 apes. It's a good idea. F in the chat, yes. Let's F in the chat for all of the Fallen. Warriors of the Night, Slamwise, 4 kills. That was the top right there. Slamwise got 4 kills. Battered Lecter, 3. Finavar the Foe Burner, 3 with Sable Phoenix. Is that our new elf right there? Chestnut the Tenor, +3. Quarter, +3. Most damage tonight. Blamgee, 38. Samwise Blamgee did 38 points of damage tonight. Quarter did 22. Sir Dondarian did 20. Finavar the Foe Burner did 16. A Fretful Squire did 15. That's John. And let me take this down. Blow of the night was the Samwise Blamgee, that is TSL frontman Samwise Blamgee's crit with a Warhammer against Goblin number 1 for 17 points of damage. All right. Whoa. Okay. A lot of work to do. Thank you guys all for being here. Thank you. There's a lot of work to do. I'm going to work for 2 or 3 hours. see what I can do. Thank you all for being here. Thank you very, very much for doing this with me and trying all this out, learning a lot. And, as we found, things that work when we were, level 0 and when we were level 0 and only had 4 people in the chat, it's different when we have level 0s and levels 1s and also 20 to 22 people in the chat. So it changes things. So the game is going to have to evolve and take into all that into account. I'm working on it, though. I'm working on it. Okay, so I will see you guys later. Go forth, go be creative, be constructive, and I will see you tomorrow night. Later, everybody.